Good afternoon, coming to you from Low and Loud Custom Cycles. I'm making this video because I could not find much information out there on the internet surrounding doing cam swaps or upgrades on the Vrod engine. It appears that this particular tool here, the Camshaft tappet compression tool, is required to complete this job in its normal state. However, you cannot find this tool. It's extremely elusive. And what this means is when you set the engine up at top dead center, you'll see that there is two gold or bronze links on both the front chain, as well as, if you can see it on there, on the back chain. Both have bronze links, and they need to line up with the two dots. I painted the white dots just to make them a little bit more clear. They need to line up with that nub right here in the back of the engine, right there, which they do. And on the front cylinder, you'll see that you have a white dot and a bronze link, and a white dot and a bronze link. This is the exhaust, this would be the intake. And on the rear cylinder, you have the same lineup: bronze link, white dot on the intake, and white dot, bronze link on the exhaust. Now, looking at the orientation of the cams, you'll see that there's no compression or no pressure on the valve on either the intake or the exhaust valves. However, on the front cylinder, you'll see both exhaust and intake are loaded on the springs with pressure. This is where the compression tools would come into play. You'd slide them in, bolt them down, take the pressure off of the cam so you could remove it. In this case, I cannot do that, so I can, however, remove the rear cylinder intake and exhaust cams because there's no pressure on the valves or on the cam itself. And doing that, what we'll do here is we will need to remove the cam tensioner, and then we will remove the cams themselves, swap over the gears. In this case, I'm replacing them with the Fitzgerald HellRaiser cams, so a little performance upgrade. And what I will do, I'm going to show you here, as you saw, the cam orientation. The cam lobes are facing at about maybe about to 1 o'clock, and on the exhaust valve, they're probably here around 10 o'clock. And that is the same orientation that we find them here in the engine. So I'm going to go ahead and start removing this, taking the cam tensioner, releasing this to remove tension from this cam, or this cam chain here, so I can then be able to remove the chain up here and start removing the cams, and I will come back with a progress update. All right, this is pretty much all the tools you will need to do this job. 3/8 ratchet, micro torque wrench. It's going to be probably quarter inch, 10 millimeter socket, quarter inch, 13 millimeter socket. The 10 inch or 10 millimeters for the cam caps, for the bearing caps, and the 13 is for the two bolts on the sprocket for each of the cams. You'll probably do a 3/8 drive 13 and a 3/8 drive 10, just for removing stuff so you're not using the torque wrench. You may or may not use your regular foot-pound torque wrench. You will definitely need some assembly lube. Doesn't have to be this brand, I just happen to have this. You'll need a long extension with a spark plug socket so you can pull your spark plugs as you rotate the engine. You're going to rotate the engine with a 1/2 inch drive, 36 millimeter socket. That'll go on the center nut of the crank, and you can spin it counterclockwise. I use the adjustable wrench to loosen the belt or chain adjusters. You'll need your feeler gauges here, maybe a couple extensions depending on how you want to do it. Super important is your magnet. This is what you're going to use to remove your buckets and your shims. The shims probably will come out with the buckets when you pull them out, but you'll just basically tap it on top of the bucket. It'll come right out. And of course your shim kit. Doesn't have to be this particular brand, but basically any shim kit designed for the Vrod. They're 10mm diameter shims, and they come in various sizes. This is really the most time-consuming part, is placing in the shims under the bucket, torquing everything down on the cam, checking your clearances, your tolerances on your valve lash with your feeler gauge, finding out it's the wrong size, do a calculation, go to the next size. You may have to do several test fits before you get the right size. You want to follow the cam specs, and that's pretty much it. It's a bit of a time-consuming job, just simply because you have to take the cams out, put them back in, take them out, put them back in multiple times so you can adjust the valve lash. But the actual process is pretty straightforward. And as you will see through the video, the process for doing this without the tappet compression tool is a little bit different, but it's really not that difficult. You just have to keep track of where your timing is, mark your chain, mark your sprockets, make sure that your cams are unloaded from the valves, so on and so forth. So good luck, everybody, and look forward to the next video. I'm at the point where I've removed the cam tensioner. I've gone ahead, not necessary, but I went ahead and loosely put a zip tie through the links of the rear cylinder chain, cam chain, just to keep it in place so it doesn't drop down. And now what I want to do is just double check the tolerances here on the lobes. And what I've got here is 0.008. So I've got a 0.005 and a 003 to make 008. And I just want to go through and double check to make sure that that is the right. And that's the specifications on the intake cams. So I'll go ahead and swap these out, and when I put the new cams in, I will want to make sure that they're 0.008 tolerance as well. I figured out that I wound up having to take both the intake and the exhaust cams out at the same time in order to pull the chain out. So it's very key that you put the caps in order. As you can see, there's arrows on top, and they're each numbered 5, 6, 7, and 8. You want to make sure that they go back in the exact same order they came out. So I've placed them just the way they came out, front and back, intake and exhaust. So I'm going to go ahead and remove the exhaust cam and then the intake cam and swap over the sprockets, and then start checking for clearances until I get the right shims in place, and I will be back with that. All right, here we go. After probably a good hour of testing different shims to get the right clearance, as you can see, that is the shim here on top of the valve. It's the shim under bucket. This is the bucket. You want to make sure that you lubricate the shim and the bucket in just regular motor oil. Just make sure you put this back in place. A little hard to do when you're doing it one-handed like. Alright, and then it just pushes right in. So we're going to do the same thing with the second one, and then we'll put the cam back in and start reassembly. The one thing to make sure too is to clean the cams with brake clean or carb clean when they come out of the box. They are coated with a rust prohibitor, so we have to clean them really good and then put assembly lube on them, so when we fire it up it's nice and thoroughly lubed, and we'll get to the next step. I'll be back. These here, if you can see them, these are the shims that go under the pucks, or as they call them, shim under pucks. We've got our new Fitzgerald HellRaiser cams in here, intake and exhaust. Getting ready to cinch them down here. You'll see our timing marks are lined up again. Cinch them down and then tighten the tensioner on this, and the rear bank is done.